going back to you, obviously before all this craziness came into play, all signs were pointing to you fighting Dan Hooker May 16th in San Diego. We know the fight's definitely not happening in San Diego, just because with all this going on, maybe this happens at the Tachi Palace, or if we want to get into Dana White's Fight Island or whatever, what's going on there. But just give us the update. I know you tweeted out last night, which was Tuesday, saying that or Wednesday, that they were could be fighting still May 16th, and that's what you're preparing for. What do you know at the moment?
I've kind of been in limbo these last few weeks. Obviously, I didn't go to Florida from Connecticut and start training camp, so I never really started a camp. Now that Louisiana has some pretty high cases here, we've been mandatory quarantined if you cross state line from Louisiana to Florida for 2 weeks. So if I'm fighting May, going there and being quarantined for 2 weeks and then training for a week or two, it's just not worth it. So I'm staying here in Louisiana. I'm running my own camp at my own gym. I have a gym here, a private gym, and I have a couple training partners here in Lafayette, Louisiana, who come meet me and push me, and I'm just gonna stay ready and prepare that way, and we'll see. But what I'm hearing from the UFC is that if they pull off April 18th and it happens, then I'm fighting. Not on that card, but that if they pull off a successful event, then I will be fighting in May, most likely.
Okay, and it would likely be at the Tachi Palace, or the venue they have located for 249.
I believe we haven't got that far. I'm not sure yet. I haven't signed or got an official contract. This has all just been talking, but I believe that they only have that venue for 2 months, and my fight would be.
It's about 5 weeks away, right? May
16th. Yeah. So I might be on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, so I mean, tell me, and I imagine if there was going to be Dan Hooker, that would most likely have to be the case regardless, because I can't imagine he gets in the States by May. You'd maybe have to look at a different opponent if they want stateside. But yes, you mentioned Gilligan's Island, Dana White's Island, Fight Island, whatever we're calling it. When you hear Dana come out and say in that interview, and this is obviously well before you knew that maybe you could be fighting out there, and he says, "I'm trying to secure a private island for fights," like what goes through your head?
It's insane, man. I was blown away. It's like Mortal Kombat. The show goes on, man. Business must go on. I honestly think, this fight with Hooker, if it does happen, could be on that island. But we'll see how things are in May. 5 weeks is a long time, so things might be slowing down a little bit. Other places, other venues might be opening back up. International travel might be allowed by then. We'll see. It's still a day-by-day thing here.
Yeah. What would you rather do? I mean, I know you're a guy, you went out to Abu Dhabi and fought Habib there. You fought all over the world. You fought in guys' backyards, Gaethje, stuff like that. Would you rather, I guess, just minimize the travel time? We don't know where this supposed island in the world would even be, but do you like the concept of like doing something kind of crazy like that? Or would you rather just, fly a few hours to California and, make it as simple as possible?
Yeah, I'd rather as simple as possible. I'd much rather fly to California, to the Tachi Palace Arena, or anywhere in the States for that, But no telling how far this island is. It is exciting, man. It's exciting to be at this, to have something like this, an opportunity in my career where I can tell my grandchildren and my daughter that I flew. One day I can tell them that I flew onto an island where I didn't know where I was going to fight somebody. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Would that be the top story? I mean, you got the Fightful poster behind you. I know you fought some crazy spots early in the day, and we mentioned Abu Dhabi, but would a private island, God knows where, would that top the list?
Yeah, that's insane, man. Especially if what Dana said happens, where we don't really know a whole lot about where we're going. That seems crazy, dude. From rodeo arenas in Fightville to private islands. There's no telling where we're going next.
No doubt. Get to the actual fight. I mean, assuming you do fight Dan Hooker, we had talked multiple times in recent months. You wanted for the next fight something that excites you, all that kind of stuff. Just tell me what you think about this matchup, assuming that does go down with Hooker. Obviously, he's coming off a very good fight, one of the best fights of the year so far with Paul Felder.
I think he's a tough guy. He's on a win streak right now. He's been in the UFC a while. He has a decent amount of experience, and yeah, he's on a good win streak. He just won his first main event in the UFC. Stuck it out and showed grit in a 5-round fight, like you said. One of the best fights this year so far. So I think the fans are in for a good matchup stylistically. He goes in there and fights hard, so that's what's going to happen. It's a fun fight for the fans, and it's an exciting fight for me because I think my style matches up well with his, and I think we're going to put on an entertaining fight. And I want to go out there and make a statement, prove that I am the best, and I want another shot at gold, man.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are saying coming off the Felder fight with him in particular, like, oh, Felder was able to work some pretty good boxing. Like, just imagine what Dustin will do to him. That's kind of been what I've seen a lot of talk online about. When you look at kind of the matchup, I know you feel your boxing matches up really well against pretty much anyone, but in this fight in particular, is that somewhere you could really see, you know, that part of your skill set thriving?
Of course, anybody who's going to stay in the middle of the octagon and exchange with me, I think I'm going to do well with. But you know, this guy's throwing a lot of kicks, very dangerous knees. We haven't been talking about his jiu-jitsu because he's been knocking guys out and stuff, but I think he has underrated jiu-jitsu. He's finished a lot of people earlier in his career, and that's it. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter, but just because he fought Paul that way doesn't mean he's going to fight me that way. So we'll see. I'm just worried about, not worried. I'm just focusing on being as crisp as I can, training the best that I can since I can't go to American Top Team. You know, getting the best work that I can in Louisiana, and being healthy and ready to go for May 16th if it happens.